So there are different types of VLANs. So normally, in order for us to understand what the different types of VLAN, you just think about the kind of traffic that will be passing through your network. Normally, by default, when you buy a switch, all the interfaces on the switch, we'll see that again when we look at the device itself. All the interfaces on the switch belong to the same VLAN. It means they are in the same group because we don't know what you want to use the switch for. So it comes with a box. So the default VLAN is more like saying by the factory setting, everything belongs to that default VLAN. So that's why when we just connect cables and we put IP addresses, we can ping each other because by default, those initial things are done. But on a device can pass data traffic. So it can send data. So maybe text file or something into the network. And so we can create data VLANs. Normally, typically what we have are data VLANs, pinging people and all that. It's typically normal traffic. But apart from that, sometimes on your network, you can have what we call voice VLANs or voice traffic. Voice traffic are more of real-time, it also RTP, so real-time protocols. Real-time protocols is just saying that live kind of traffic. So maybe phone call, maybe video conference calls and all that. These are real-time. And an example is a voice. And so normally, if you have IP phones on your network, you can create a special VLAN called the voice VLAN. And if you connect your IP phones on there, when you connect them, they'll be using the voice VLAN. The reason why we create voice VLAN is because of what we call QoS, quality of service. Voice is something that, how do you call it? It depends on the latency of the link and all that. So you want to make sure that voice traffics are handled properly. And so some of these things would have special kind of traffics and special kind of configuration. So there's what we call the voice VLAN. Another one is what we call the management VLAN. Management VLAN is basically you want to configure your device from somewhere and all that. So you can create a management VLAN, give it an IP address, and when you're doing your SSH or remote access, instead of remote accessing a particular port, you remote access a particular VLAN, which is the management VLAN, which will give you access to the device itself. And we have what we call native VLAN. Now, native VLAN is also for security reasons. When we say native VLAN, if any traffic that comes to your device, if it is not in any VLAN, if it does not belong to any VLAN, it will be sent to native VLAN. Because basically every traffic that comes into your device, if it is coming from a VLAN, assuming this is the traffic, it will have a tag. It will say maybe this is coming from VLAN 3 or VLAN 4, which is sending it to, maybe this is sending it to VLAN 3, and then it's coming from maybe VLAN 1. These are tags. Later on, I'll show you what normal traffics look like. And when it happens like this, assuming your switch receives information and it doesn't know what the VLAN is, and it doesn't even have a VLAN tag, the information will be sent to somewhere. So let's assume I receive a traffic on my switch. Native VLAN is saying that if you receive any traffic and you don't know where it's going, send it to this space, the native VLAN, because it's more of saying it is a space where it will be able to check. It's like a dustbin. It has a job. It does. It has its own job, but before it does a job, we have to send every untagged traffic, every traffic that cannot be recognized to native VLAN. But by default on a Cisco switch, VLAN 1 is our default VLAN. At the same time, VLAN 1 is our native VLAN. And so you have to be careful. So if VLAN 1 is where all our native, don't forget, if the default VLAN is VLAN 1, and that's where we passing traffic, and that's where all the traffic that are not, we don't know where they are going to also go, and they are all going to VLAN 1. It is not secure. And so normally when you buy a switch, Cisco switch, the first thing you do is you change the native VLAN to a different number. Normally, some people will change it to 99 or something, any number. It doesn't have to be a common VLAN number, just because we want to make sure that every traffic which is not tagged will go there. And that's what the different types of VLANs